Hi YouTube artist, I'm Kelly Hernig and welcome to In the Studio. Today we're going to paint another holiday element of our Artful Advent. Are you ready? Let's go paint. Welcome to Artful Advent. I want to talk about color mixing today. Just in case you only have 3 colors. I said in the preview video that you could do it with yellow, red, and blue. This is the Daniel Smith primary set. It has Hansa Yellow Medium, Perylene Red, and French Ultramarine. I'm going to show you how to create a basic color wheel, and then we'll explore from there. Hansa Yellow Medium is a fairly bright yellow. I'm going to add water now. By that, I'm just going to dip my brush into water and take off a little bit. And you can see it gets quite a bit lighter. I'll bring it a little closer. There we go. Then I've got red, the Perylene Red. I'm going to dip my brush in water, and we're going to do a lighter value of that. And then I have French Ultramarine. This is a nice intense blue here. Dipping my brush in water. The values are important because you can keep adding more water and they get paler and paler and paler. I'm going to start by mixing the primaries. So these are called primaries. These cannot be mixed by any other colors. So you can't mix red and blue and get yellow, or you can't mix yellow and blue and get red. What we're going to do now is mix the primaries with each other and create secondary colors. So yellow and red is going to create an orange. Now yellow is really light, so I just need a little bit of red. We can always add more. Mix it really well. You can see it changing. And it should be a mix between the two. So if I wanted a red orange, I would add more red. If I wanted a yellow orange, I would add more yellow. So I'm going to dip into my yellow here. See how much lighter that is? And it's more on the yellow side. So I'm going to add more red now. And it's more of a red orange. Now we're going to mix yellow and blue. Now these two colors do not really make a very natural green, but they do make a pretty green. And I touch just the tiniest bit of blue in there. A little bit more. And I would say right now that's kind of the yellow green. Add a little bit more blue. I'm going to add a little bit more blue. Let's turn it to the blue side here. More of a blue-green. You can see too, by adding the blue, it's giving you a nice darkness. If this was your color, you could shade with that color. Let's add more yellow. We have one more to do, red and blue. Notice that I always start with the lighter color. I'm not trying to mix with the blue first because that would take a lot of yellow, take a lot of red. Blue is the heavier color, so I'm just going to put a little bit in there. Trying to get an even mix, so some kind of violet. I'm going to touch a little bit more blue now. That's a blue violet. I'm going to touch a little bit more red to this pile. And there's a red violet. What we have now is yellow, red, and blue are our primaries. Orange, green, and violet are our secondaries. And then the little circles are the tertiaries. Remember that this group is number 1, this group is number 2, and then the circles are number 3. So basically primary, secondary, tertiaries. Now when you mix the 3 primaries together, you're going to get a color, I call it the mother color. And it's usually a pretty brown. So here is yellow. I'm going to make a big pile of this so we can step it out for value so you can see. I'm going to make an orange now. Need a little bit more yellow. And I'm going to just add a touch of blue here. See it change into a brown? It still looks very orange to me, so a little bit more blue. Now you can deepen this or change it to a more red brown or a blue brown. You can make it go a little deeper, but I'm pretty good with that color. That looks pretty nice. So this here is what I call the mother color. This color, because it is a mix of all of them, would be a natural shading, which means in your yellow you can mix a little bit of this and get a darker yellow. For your red you can mix a little bit of this and get a darker color. Same with the blue. Same with all of these tertiary colors. They would look really nice. But I want to show you the mother color stepped out here. Here is, make sure I'm on screen here. So here it is, full value, the value that I mixed. Need a little bit more water. Now what I'm going to do is dip my brush in water and blot it on the side. That's it, every time. Dipping my brush in water, blotting it on the side. And you can see here that it's fairly orange. Mine's an orange brown. Dipping it in water again, blotting on the side. See how each time it's getting lighter. Blotting again, water. Now I'm going to actually blot into the water and blot it on paper towel to take a lot of that water away for this lighter color here. And that's how you make values. If I'm using a light gray, you could use this color. If I'm using a buff titanium, you can use one of these colors. It's a little darker than buff titanium, but they all work. It's just about understanding what your color will do. That's why I stepped these out. You know, you can keep stepping them out even further to where they get really light in coloration. I'm also going to make a color that's kind of like a buff titanium, because it's one that I am going to use a lot in this if you don't have that color. I'm going to mix yellow and blue to make a green. I want a little bit more yellow there. That's actually a pretty green. So this is my green here. When I shade a lot of times, I have a video on muting my colors. I will go to the color across the color wheel. So this is green, directly across is red. Watch what happens when I'm going to touch a little bit of red, not a lot. See how it dulls the color down? See how it's no longer a bright green? It's kind of an olive green. Now I can keep stepping that out by adding more water. More water. I can also take that mix now and add a little bit more blue because I'm trying to get rid of the yellow. I'm trying to make it more of a brown. And remember, it started with the yellow and green, yellow and blue. So now that was adding red, this is adding blue. And add just a touch more. That's pretty. Okay, I'm going to touch a little bit of the mother color here. Remember, that's all 3 primaries mixed. See how it took away the brightness of the green there? It took away that. And I'm going to now dip in my water. I would use that color or this color down here for my buff titanium, depending if you want it more green or more brown. The other thing I want to show you is creating a gray, because grays are very important. So I have the mother color here. Again, that was red, yellow, and blue all together. And I'm going to add a little bit more blue because blue and brown make a beautiful gray. Let me swatch this out first for you. So this is the mother color. Now I'm going to add blue. See how it turned it? So if you don't have a gray, but you have a full palette, blue and gray is beautiful together, and different blues will give you different grays. Look at that color, so pretty. Now I'm going to add water. Can I add more water? Now you can see how mother color plus blue gives you nice grays. So they're fairly basic, but I did want to share with you one more thing. If you have any kind of water-soluble things, you can use them for this. Now the Artful Advent, you can use any medium you want. You can use color pencil, acrylic, it doesn't matter. I wanted to show you some other water-soluble items that you might not think about adding. I have a Stabilo Woody. These are water-soluble. By that, I can just take my brush, go right along the tip here, and you can see the color coming out. I could also wet it and smooth it out. So don't forget about those. There are also Neo Color 2 crayons or pastels. You got to make sure that they have the 2 right here, the 2, not the 1. The 1 are not water soluble. This again, you can wet the actual lead here. Real nice. There are also all kinds of water-soluble pencils. There's the Derwent Inktense pencils. There's Museum Aquarelle by Karen Dash. You can, again, wet them either by putting it down in a layer and then wetting it. Or else you can just go straight to the lead. When I was first urban sketching, I used a lot of the Neo Color crayons and took them in just a water brush. Here's the Karen Dash. And you'll notice all my colors are muted because that's what I use. Here's adding water to it. And again, you can go straight to the lead. And if you have a white one, you can add, let's see if I can get it to work here. Here's a little puddle of purple. I'm going to dip this into water. You can get a little lighter value there. I just wanted to give you some options because they're easily forgotten if you don't think about them as water soluble and you think about them more as mixed media. Thank you for watching the color basics. Let's head into painting the Artful Advent.